Since our singing voices didn't make it to Nashville,
we figured we would use our voices in a completely different way.
we're two friends hanging out, sharing about our businesses,
Our journeys to motherhood, things we love, and making time to do life.
together. This is
Two Chicks and a Glass. Hey y'all! This is Two Chicks and a Glass, and I am LaShonda Hollins, one half of Two Chicks and a Glass.
Hey y'all, I'm Angela Robertson, and I am the second half of Two Chicks and a Glass. And today, y'all, if y'all are on YouTube, y'all may see these male figures sitting on here with us, and you may be wondering, well, who the heck is that?
I don't know if they're wondering that. They may know, but we do have two special guests with us today. We have our husbands, and we're going to let them introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Emmanuel.
And I'm Nick. Nick Robertson, by the way. I love your wife.
This is gonna be so funny. This is probably gonna be the funniest podcast that we do. This is a comedy one for sure. But our topic for tonight, of course, is going to be marrying and growing up with our high school sweethearts. And so what better way for us to do that than to bring our high school sweethearts on here with us. And they are super excited to be here. You can tell from their face if you're on YouTube.
So excited.
But before we dive into anything about growing up with our high school sweethearts, we're first going to talk about what's in our cup. And I'm so excited because Nick is here and he's going to be able to actually tell us what's in his cup tonight. Do you want to start, Nick, or do you want me to go?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
What's in my glass is a Pinot Noir, which is a wine that I found, last week? And it's a Beringer wine. And it's a Sonoma County, California wine.
Mm-hmm.
And what caught my attention was it's one of the oldest wineries in Napa Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And do y'all think that's an expensive bottle of wine?
You know, I don't. I think that it's probably a pretty affordable bottle. What do you think, E?
That bottle of wine was $8.99.
$8.99. How does it taste?
It scored an 8 or 7, and it's good.
That's what's up.
Real good, smooth. It's a little sweet,
Mm-hmm.
a little black cherry, but I mean, I like it, and it's not as dry for it to be a Pinot. I like it. It's good. Problem.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all what's in my glass now. So I am having another red blend tonight. And it is a blend. It's a California blend. It's by Bogle. I'm not really sure how they pronounce their name, but it's B-O-G-L-E, Bogle Vineyards. And it's a 2015 California blend. And it is a blend of Petite Syrah, Old Vine Zinfandel, and Syrah, and then Cabernet Sauv. And I really like it. To be honest with you, this is actually a wine. I was in CVS, and it was right when the pandemic started. I was in there getting some stuff, and they had a buggy full of California wines that were on clearance. I literally paid $3 for this California blend. And when I look it up, it's actually more of like a $27, $30 bottle of wine. So still not very expensive, but $3, I was like, give me all the bottles.
I think when they find when they have those bottles on sale like that, I think a lot of people, I don't know if they just pass them up because they don't know or they're afraid to buy a wine that costs that much or something, and the store just have to get rid of it. But I find that a lot.
Yeah.
Good wines on sale for a good price.
This was definitely one of them. I think that I left out of CVS with about 6 or 7 bottles of wine, and I only left with so few because people were almost elbowing me getting those bottles. So this is actually a really good wine. It's a fruity wine, a fruit forward wine, still dry on the palate, but not too dry, doesn't leave a bad flavor in the back of your mouth. I think that this is one that you would like, Nick. I think we tend to like some of the same flavors, and so I think that this is one that you would enjoy.
Is it more cab or what?
It actually doesn't give me the breakdown of how much cab is here, but I like Syrahs and Zinfandels, and with the blend of cab, it usually comes out really good, but it didn't give me the actual percentages on this bottle tonight.
Oh, okay. But I used to be one to try to shy away from a real cheap wine, thinking that it was a bad wine, but it is not really the case. You know, there's good cheap wines too.
Exactly.
You don't have to go buy, $100 bottle or $20 bottle or 40. It's good cheap wines out there. So
exactly. And that's why we're doing this. We want to give people a good variety of wines. So there will be some, like my favorite wine is Caymus, which is a pretty expensive bottle, but we're going to try to give people everything from expensive to least expensive, because we know that everybody can't go spend $85 or $90 on a bottle of wine. So we're going to give you these $20 bottles that we found for $3 too, so stay tuned for all of our wine options, y'all. But we're going to transition from wines and move into our topic for the night. Angie?
Well, how about some lips first?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the lips.
Y'all got my mouth watering on all this wine talk. I just want to put my lips around some wine bottles. Maybe not the bottle, maybe the cup.
Straight out the bottle.
Straight out the bottle.
Straight out the bottle.
Straight out the bottle. But tonight, since y'all are doing more of like a deep color, then I am going with Sugar Plum. So Sugar Plum is like a reddish, it's like a deep berry. It's not too bold red, but it's not too deep of a red. So it's really pretty. And actually, Shonda has this one too. It's always pretty on you. It's Sugar Plum. It is a liquid that goes on liquid. It's going to dry as a velvety matte. And again, I always say with these colors, like the matte ones, perfect for drinking wine just because they're not going to come off on your glass. So you can literally drink for 4 to 6 hours straight. Maybe that's not recommended, but you totally can. And it won't get on your glass. Or you can give your husband a nice little smooch and it won't come off either. So the color for tonight is Sugar Plum. Oh, and you are my Sugar Plum.
That was it.
How about it?
We got sugar plums and sugar beans and everything here with us tonight.
Yeah, we do. I think it's perfect for talking about dating or being with our high school sweethearts because there are sugar plums.
Yeah. So I feel like I've talked a lot, Angie. So I'll let you and Nick start. If you guys want to just kind of tell us about early on dating, like since we've been together since high school, like tell us about that first time that you all started dating.
Oh gosh. All right, here we go. Get your ears ready, peoples. So first of all, I didn't even really see Nick like that, like at the very beginning, when we started dating. And his story is definitely going to vary from mine, but I'll say once we did start talking, Nick was kind of like a little, he was a little, I don't even know what to call you back then. He got around a little bit.
He was promiscuous.
There we go. He was a little playboy. Let's say that. So we dated in high school. We were sophomores going into our junior year. And that's when we...
I ain't gonna say all that.
Nick said, let's not throw out dates.
I ain't throwing out no dates. Ain't no telling who I was involved with around that time. I ain't gonna throw out no dates.
Did y'all see where I'm going? No, he's so serious. Yeah, he's pretty serious. It's okay though. That is our past. We were children.
That That is true.
We were no, we weren't children, we were teens. But whenever we did get together, I don't know, I will say this. The very first time he came to my house, y'all, he came with roses.
Aww.
How we got started?
Okay, well, you tell him. How did we get started?
It was prom.
Okay, so
It
I
was
guess
prom time.
it was our junior year then.
Yeah, it was going. Yeah, it was prom time.
Okay,
Our junior year.
yeah.
Going
Because we
into our
did,
junior
yeah.
year.
Because we actually didn't even make it to prom that year.
But what it was prom time. I didn't have a date, but I knew that seeing Angela around campus, every time I saw her, she always ran up to me. Nick, hey Nick,
That is
how you
so
doing?
not true.
I can't clap. I probably just made a loud noise. I clapped.
She used to hug me every day.
That is not true.
Passing through the hallways of the schoolhouse, and I used to be like, man, this girl here gotta be feeling me up. So I just got to thinking. I was like, man, I gotta hit that. And, her being my girlfriend wasn't the first thing that crossed my mind, because I was like, man, Angie ain't gonna want to be with me. She I'm sure she pretty, and she big time cheerleader. Of course, she want to be with somebody else. A little bit more upscale than me. She ain't gonna want little old me.
Oh.
So I said, but I gotta get some. Yeah. So I went to a good friend, Rashida Davis, and I said, Rashida, man, what's up with Angie? She said, what you mean? I said, what's up with Angie? Like, will she do something? And Rashida said, I think she a little freak.
If my parents were listening to this, he's full of lies.
She said,
Oh my God. This podcast is so real right now. If you're listening, we're keeping it 100 tonight.
I think my whole face is turning red. Oh my God.
I said, for real? She was like, yeah, I think so. I know she be doing some stuff on the beta convention.
No way.
Okay.
I should have told them not to embarrass us. That we should have prefaced that.
But that's not even true.
I said, well, shit.
None of this is true, though.
I said, well, shit. Look there. Check this out.
Okay.
Hook that up. And she was like, all right, I'll tell her what's up. So, what is it? One day, she had told you to come to her house or something like that?
No,
How did
that ain't even me.
How did
Okay, y'all, do not listen to anything.
Did they come to your house?
No.
Halloween or something?
No.
We had a project, a school project or something?
Yeah, we were already talking then.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let me tell y'all the real story.
But I was working at McDonald's on Mission.
All right.
You used to come by there.
Okay, let me tell y'all
look. Don't be trying to hide the truth.
No, this isn't.
You are an adult.
Okay, I'm an adult, but y'all, let me tell y'all the truth, because I think he's mixing me up with somebody. Part of it's accurate. The other part's not. So part of it was I mean, because I kind of, always did talk to like older guys. I never talked to anybody in my class. Like in high school, that's really what I did. And I do recall at some point, our friend Rashida from high school and actually grade school saying that Nick kind of liked me. And I remember only hugging you one specific time. One time at the very beginning, because
every day.
Because I never saw you. Yeah, after that.
Every day. You used to tell me, man, that dude smells so good.
You did smell good back then.
Every day.
Yeah, but
then when I started getting that look, and I knew she wanted me. I started getting that look. It was over.
Okay.
I knew I had him.
So let's get to the truth now. Okay. So after we finally got together, the very first time he came to my house to visit, he brought these roses. It was like a dozen roses, and I will never forget, because I was dating a guy before and my dad just wasn't that fond of him. But then when he rolls up and he's bringing in some roses, I think my dad fell in love. Like he immediately fell in love with this kid because, you know, he was so nice and he smelled good and he looked good and he brought me flowers. And like my dad did always used to bring like my mom flowers, especially for like Valentine's Day and things like that. So he was very respectable and he respectful. I mean, respectable, respectful. Same word.
We make up words on this podcast.
It's our word. That's my word. We're going to go with respectful. Okay. Well, he was very respectful and my dad really liked him. So we did date in high school in a roundabout way through one of our mutual friends. Whew, now I'm sweating.
All right, Emmanuel, since Nick did so well, do you want to tell our story
We have a story.
from high school?
Well, I mean, I can tell my version of the story.
Well, we know y'all have y'all's own version.
Yes, y'all
The
do.
truth. Usually the right version.
Let's hear it.
I guess the first time I really met you was like in Miss Fiesel class, English class. I was in 10th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, you just kept hanging out in Miss Fiesel class, even though you was a grade ahead of me and you didn't even take the class. I don't even know how you end up in the class, but Miss Fiesel let y'all come into class all the time. So you would just hang out in the class. And then one night you end up, somehow you called my phone, my house phone. Still don't know how to this day you got my house number. You and one of your friends called. I'm like, okay, yeah, I know who you are. Because, of course, we met in the class, we talked. And I always try to figure out how did you get my number. But then I realized you worked as an office aide. So you ended up stealing my number out of one of those files in the office. And y'all called my phone. Look at one of my friends already had told me that you liked me, but you know, I didn't think nothing about it. And we kind of started lying at first. The whole thing was somebody liked me, somebody liked you. So we wanted to lie and say we went together. That way we didn't have to talk to the other two people who liked us because we really didn't want to go with them. So I think that's how it initially started.
Now that I can agree with. I didn't steal your number though. I did not steal your number out of school. If you're listening, Mendenhall High School, I did not steal his phone number out of his records.
I think you stole my number.
But I think you're right. So we did start out just kind of saying, oh, this is my boyfriend, and he really wasn't my boyfriend. But we didn't want to kind of deal with the other two people who had attractions to us. And so it started out as just fun, and then it just progressed from there. And I think that's how we initially got started, right?
Yeah, you stole my phone number out of the office and you stalked me. So you kind of are a stalker.
I'm not a stalker. I am not a stalker, so I'm sorry. But so what, Angie?
It turned out well.
It turned out well.
Depending on who you ask, Angie, you just made that statement. You know who you ask.
So that's how we all started out in high school. Apparently, Angie was crushing on Nick, hugging on him all the time. And
you was a stalker.
And I stalked Emmanuel, and somehow we ended up married. So so we dated through high school, and then we moved on to college. I know, like, Minnie Mayo had some, like, we were rocky at first. I was probably a little bit more, I was finding myself a little bit in high school and was a little bit more promiscuous than Emmanuel was in high school.
Sure was.
And so, whatever. And so we had some rocky times then. And then when we got to high school, college was a little more rocky for us too, because then you're growing together, and then you're having to figure yourself out, figure out who you are and who you want to be. So how did y'all handle that? Because you all went off to college too. How did you handle growing together, if you handled growing together?
We had more like an avalanche.
Yeah.
It was rocky. We got our boat flipped over.
Yeah.
Yeah, girl, it did a few tumbles. I can say, when we first started college, we went to the same college. So we went to Jones Junior College, and at that point, my very first year, I just wanted to be a student because I was so active in high school with like all of the like cheerleading, beta, like everything. I wanted to know what life was like just to be a student. So my first year, I didn't try out for anything. And we dated the first year. I think it went well, honestly. Like our very first semester there, we neither one of us lived on campus. We actually got an apartment, we got an apartment with my sister, and we stayed together. And we were I think we were very responsible young adults, you know. Then it came up to close to our second year, like our second semester.
But at that first semester, I was playing football. I went and tried out at Jones, made the team. So I was playing football that first semester. And I went to Jones because you went to Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And go ahead, you can keep telling
Yeah.
me.
So I think we did good the first semester.
Yeah.
So in our spring, I think we did pretty good then. It wasn't until spring going into summer.
She started meeting friends.
Yes, I started meeting friends. I started wanting to party. It was actually going into the fall. I started working at a club, and I was a shot girl. And I literally saw a different life that I had never seen before. And it was fast paced. And I was like, I don't know. I knew that I loved him. But at the same time, I knew that there was so much more out there that I wanted to personally experience, that I ended up breaking up with him. And he hadn't done anything. I hadn't done anything at the time. And it literally came down to me wanting to experience life, because I felt like we had something so precious that, I mean, he was my person. I knew he was my person then. I knew that we would end up married if we got back together, but I wasn't ready for that. And I don't think he was ready for that.
I was ready.
Yeah, he may have been ready. But I don't think we would still be here right now had we got married back then, or had not taken a split, because I needed to explore and make all of the bad decisions and bad mistakes and all of the negative things, as well as some of the good things. And I needed to grow up, you know, so I needed to experience that. So basically, I'll never forget, we were sitting in front of what was the Votech or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Votech building. And we were in my car, and I was like, I'm sorry, you know, I got to break up with you. And it was so hard for me to do because he hadn't done anything.
Right.
It's easier for you to break up with somebody when they like treat you bad or like do something to you. And I really broke his heart. Did I break your heart? I think I did. And I honestly I broke his heart, and I broke mine too. But I broke it because I felt like we needed to do that.
Yeah. And I agree, because like you and I, we're alike in so many ways, and we're different in so many ways. And I 100% agree with you that if you didn't take that time to figure yourself out and do those things that you saw everybody else doing, you wanted to be a part of it, you wanted to be a part of that life, you would have ruined what you and Nick had still trying to do that, because you would have hurt him in a completely different way.
Yes.
And so it's hard to do, and Nick is gonna be like, I don't know, but it takes a big person to say, I don't want to hurt you, and I need to step away so that I can find myself, so to speak.
Let me add this though. He had a new girlfriend in like 2 weeks, so he kind of got back at me.
That's a lie.
Well, you know, Angie, you kind of don't get to dictate how fast he can get.
But I was not. I was
And it took longer than 2 weeks. It took a while.
and maybe 1.5 weeks. Like I was like, I
It
blinked
took
my
a while. It took
eyes,
longer than that.
and he was
She
done.
She was in that fast-paced life, and shit was just moving too fast. So
Time was going so fast, Nick.
Oh yeah, it moved so fast she thought it was 2 weeks.
No.
That's what. But I took my time.
So I'll start with Minnie Mayo. For us, I was a year older than Emmanuel, so I went off to college prior to Emmanuel coming to USM. And I'll never forget the day that I got ready to move in and everything. Emmanuel was supposed to come and help me move in that day. He was supposed to like help my daddy carry the TV and everything up the stairs. And he called me and he was like, my mama said I can't come. Your mama won't let you come. I was so mad, but I understood. And so I went off to college. We were still together and still dating, but for me, that was kind of like a bummer because I was like, well, is she ever going to let him come and see me? Like, is he going to be able to come here and visit and things like that? And when you're leaving high school, going into college, you don't really know how things are going to work out. You think you know, but you really have no idea. And I think for the most part, like Emmanuel, probably in that 1 year, you may have came like a couple times. I think I went home majority of the weekends, just so that we could still have a relationship. And then, so to believe it or not, our year where he was still in high school and I was in college was the easy year for us. That was the easy year for us. When Emmanuel finally got to USM, we were doing well, but he still had these friends, you know, that needed saving, so to speak. And so, that's all I'm gonna say. And so he still wanted to chat with other girls on the phone, and it's like, oh well, they're just my friend. I don't like them, and they don't like me. I was like, well, they do like you, and you're just being foolish, you know. And so we had some discord there, just with me telling him it's time to cut these people off. We've been dating for a few years now, because I was in 11th grade and he was in 10th grade. And so we've been talking for a few years now, it's time for you to make a decision on what you want to do. And then do you want to tell him about the about when I pledged my sorority? That these are all life-changing moments for us, where I was growing and Emmanuel was growing slower than me, I think. So
I guess the thing is when you pledged in your sorority, you kind of wanted to go out more, and I wasn't used to you wanting to go out more. You wanted to go to parties. I didn't really do parties, but you wanted to go. So we started out with a couple of parties. I went with you, but of course I don't really like parties. So then it turned into, well, I'm just gonna go to the party myself. And that became a big issue because it was like, hey, every Friday she ready to go party. I'm getting off work and I'm like, where is LaShonda at? You know, I call her, oh, I'm such and such, we partying here. Okay, all right. Well, I'm off work now. We gonna meet up or what? You know? So I think the issue was that she was partying and I wasn't with her. So a lot of times that brought problems because, hey, well, who you going to party with? Or why are you going to party and why are you not home when I get home? You know? We made a deal at one point to where, okay, you can go party, but when I get off work, you need to be at home. That's what it was.
See how that came in there? He just tossed that in there real quick, you need to be at home.
Yeah, I did.
So, and I think what he wasn't understanding at the time, what he wasn't adjusting well to, is the sorority life. Like when you're in a sorority in college, like you host a lot of parties, and it's mandatory for you to show up at least for a little while, because no sorority wants to have a whack party. So you at least need to be in the building. And so I had to present at be at a lot of these parties, be present at these parties. And then I also think that Emmanuel had a little bit of a jealous streak when we were in college. So even those nights where he did come to the party with me, they often ended in arguments, because if he had a drink, and he wasn't a big drinker then. So if he did have a drink, it would end in some kind of jealous, like somebody is there that I want to be with, argument. And so those were some really hard years for us. The years where I felt like he was still talking to other girls, even though he said they were just friends. And then the year, which was actually my senior year, when I pledged a sorority. So that kind of came towards the end, but
The end of your junior year.
well, the end of my junior year going into, right. And I had to get my face out there too for sororities. Like they want you to come to their party and support them if you plan to join their sorority at some point. So I did start my junior year. So those were hard years, and somehow we managed by the grace of God. But Emmanuel, we've talked about that before. Like he would have a little bit, he's much different now when he has wine and stuff, but usually when he would have a drink, he would be a little bit controlling and a little bit jealous. So growth is a beautiful thing.
I agree. I swear, like as you're sharing that, I can totally see sometimes, even when we got back together, like how that was us as well, you know, like where the partying would happen and he would have a drink, and the jealous would come out, and it's like, I don't even know you right now, like who are you? yeah
I don't even think I've ever shared this story with y'all, but I'm gonna share this story with y'all because we're doing a podcast, babe.
Oh, we are?
Yes.
We're doing a podcast, Nick. You didn't know that? We're doing a podcast.
There was one night that we came to your sister's house when she lived in it was up near Jackson. I don't know where it was, like Florence, like somewhere in that area. And she had a party or something.
No, it wasn't her sister.
It wasn't her sister's house? Was it Terrence's?
It was Manzini's sister's house.
Maybe it was Manzini's sister's house.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And so there was a party there that night, and me and Emmanuel came to the party. Emmanuel had a couple of drinks. Like I was in the house with all the girls. He had a couple of drinks that night. And when we got ready to go, he was mad at me because he said somebody there kept looking at me. And I was like, well, listen, I don't even know that dude. Like, what? So I was like, you can't hold your liquor. That night I was like, I'm cutting you off forever because we can't be doing this. Like,
a lot of people that night.
That was
another night.
I feel like maybe
it was the same night.
Yeah.
It was another night.
Same night.
Same night.
Nick was mad too.
Yeah, Nick was mad that night. That was a bad night. I feel like I had knee surgery. Is that the night that we're talking about? Like,
yes.
Yeah, I had knee surgery, and it was for my birthday, actually. Yeah. That was.
Though.
I know, but I had a brace on because that actually after that party for my birthday, it was almost the next day because I was hurting. I was actually in pain at the party, and like people were wild. I think it was a full moon.
I don't know.
I think it was definitely a full moon.
It went down though.
Yeah, it did. Oh man.
Damn.
I think
that was a rough night for all of us.
It was a rough night, and we had to be like 20 something. Like
we were definitely in our 20s, like early 20s.
About 23.
Yes.
2, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Around
No.
We were married at 24.
Yeah, we were married at 24. So,
So
was it
before we got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember because that's when I had my knee surgery, and I ended up getting a blood clot. Like I found out around that time that I had a blood clot, so that's why I was so in such pain. But yeah, oh man, we used to have a lot of nights like that. Like honestly, when we first got back, oh, we got to talk about getting back together. So when we got back together, it was Christmas Eve. Random Christmas Eve. Let me say this. In the time that we broke up, okay. I'm going to say it. Not a year went by that we didn't get together for Thanksgiving. So every single year.
Sorry, other girls.
I'm sorry, y'all. I mean, and I had
Nick's like, I can't come to your house for Thanksgiving because I'm going to Angie's house.
I know, and I'm sorry, all the boyfriends that I had too. I mean, I never really had boyfriends. I had guy friends, like between him, because every guy that I talked to after him, they knew that he was my person, and I made it known that he was my person. But we did see each other every Thanksgiving after. So this one year, it was Christmas Eve, and I feel like he just randomly called me.
No, I don't know.
I feel like he randomly called me, and he was like, "What are you doing?" So him and his cousin, they came all the way to Hattiesburg.
We was already talking.
Oh, so
me and Dre had went to the track.
Okay.
We had went to Lucas track that Sunday.
Gotcha. And then they just randomly they drove all the way to Hattiesburg to my apartment. It was Christmas Eve.
That was a crazy day too.
It was a crazy day. We needed to go shop. So they came to Hattiesburg from where?
Prentice.
From Prentice. So from Prentice to Hattiesburg. And we got in, I took my car from Hattiesburg to my parents' house. They followed me to my parents' house. I got in the car with them and we went to Jackson. So we went like they went around the world. To Jackson,
then we went back to Hazelhurst.
Then we went to Hazelhurst. Yeah, we went party.
Who was chasing who then, Nick? Who was chasing who then?
I wasn't doing no chasing.
Oh, he was chasing me all those trips. Y'all know I wasn't chasing. I ain't used that much gas. I'll use my gas one time. So we went all the way to Jackson. We ended up sitting at Chili's with his cousin. And I swear I had seen him a few times between, but I know you told me he loved me that night, because he still loved me. And I told him I loved him too. And we hung out, we partied that night, and we ended up at his parents' house. And we stayed at his parents' house, and he took me home that next morning.
And that's my parents' house. And that's how y'all got back together.
And that's how we got back together.
Let me tell you about that morning. When we got back to my parents' house, the only thing that was available in the room was a twin bed. So me and Angie damn near slept on top of each other.
It was in a twin bed.
Then that next morning, I got up. We put on our clothes or whatever, and I took Angie to her parents' house. Went in, spoke to everybody, talked to her parents, socialized a little bit. And then I left. I came back home. And then, because I had on some polo boots. I had on some polo boots, some jeans, and a sweatshirt. And I came back, I was talking to my mom and my dad. And I was standing in front of the heater. And my mama, she looked at me, and she said, Spud. Because that's what she called me, Spud, that's my nickname. Spud. I said, what? She said, you went in right this morning? I said, yeah, I had to take Andy home. What you wearing? I said, what I got on. You went in there like that? I said, yeah. Why? She said, look down at your damn feet. So I looked down at my feet. Them motherfucker, my damn feet were like 2 bananas. I had my damn boots on the wrong damn feet. And never noticed it. She said, now you didn't notice your shoes on the wrong damn feet? I ain't noticed nothing, Mom. But I'm embarrassed, though.
That boy was struck by love.
So I think I had had him whipped at that point.
Man.
Angie, you had that man. He didn't even know that his shoes was on the wrong feet.
Didn't even know my shoes on
No, he
wrong damn
didn't.
feet. Man, oh.
It's hilarious. Oh my
That is
God, Nick.
sad.
Oh
yeah.
wow. Well, I'm glad y'all got back together. I always, even when the whole time we were in college and me and Angie would get together, I would always ask about Nick, and I always hope y'all would get back together. So I was so excited when y'all did get back together. I just want to put that out there.
It was exciting.
It was.
So before we wrap up, there are a couple of other things I want to discuss. So very briefly, let's talk about our proposals, and then we'll wrap up with our favorite part about growing up with our high school sweethearts. Like, what is our favorite memory, our favorite moments?
Perfect. Okay, y'all go first.
All right. So, Emmanuel, you want to tell the proposal story?
I can tell the proposal story.
Go ahead.
So, with the proposal, I remember it was our senior year in college, because of course, I caught up with her in college, so we can graduate together. She was a little slow in her books.
If you don't stop
She was a
it,
little slow in her books, so I caught up with her, and we ended up graduating about the same time.
I changed my major. That's what happened.
Whatever.
Stop it. Go ahead.
But I was supposed to go take my senior portraits that day for college, and she kept saying, "Don't forget, you need to take your senior pictures, for you can have your actual graduate picture there." And I was like, "Okay, I'll do it," but I lied. That day I decided I wanted to go buy a ring because I wanted to propose to her. So I actually, that's about the only time I can get away if I lie from her. So I missed the portraits. I went and bought a ring, and later on that night we met for dinner, and
It was our
it was
anniversary.
our anniversary for just being together, dating anniversary. And so I took her to her favorite restaurant at the time was Longhorn Steakhouse. And I got there a little early, and I had the ring, and I talked to the waiting staff because I wanted them to bring it out on a dessert platter that she really liked. And they was like, "Okay, we can do that," So I gave them the ring, and so basically we sat down for dinner. We had dinner, and she asked me, "Hey, Emmanuel, did you go do your portraits?" And I was like, "Nah, I didn't get a chance to make it."
Wrong answer.
And man, she got mad. "You didn't go get your portraits, man. Like, this the one time you can go get your senior portraits with your cap and gown, This a big accomplishment. It's a big accomplishment. You should have got your portraits.
You're the first
You're
person
the
in your
first person in your family to really graduate from college, and your immediate family. It's a big deal." And I was like, "Yeah, Shonda, but it's just a picture, I could put a cap and gown on anytime and go take a picture, hold my, my diploma." And so she was like, got mad about it. So about that time, we finally made it to dessert. She had to calm down a little bit. And then I basically told her, I said, there's a reason why I didn't go get the picture. And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, I went and bought something for you." And about that time, the waiter brings the dessert out, and she sits the dessert in front of her. And then I basically held her hand. I told her, basically, "Hey, will you marry me?" And I didn't think she seen the ring at first. The dessert was just sitting there, and she was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I didn't go get my pictures because I went and bought you this." And then I pointed at the ring on the dessert platter, our dessert plate, and she started crying, and she said, "Yes, sorry for being mad at you."
Unselfish.
How is that selfish?
She's so unselfish. Like, that is so sweet. Like, to give up this precious time, you know, in your life to do something special for her. That says a lot about you guys. Like,
Yeah.
and you, Emmanuel, that's so awesome. He loves you, girl. Good job. I don't think I ever heard that story.
My first time hearing it.
My first time too. And all these-
Yeah, I
yes.
never knew.
That is so awesome. I love it.
Well, I think this is gonna be our first time hearing y'all's too. I think.
Maybe.
Okay. You want to tell it?
You could tell it. Since Emmanuel told that one, you could tell us.
Okay, I guess I'll tell part of it and then you tell the other part. I don't know. All I know is my part. And my part was, it was New Year's Eve actually. And we had gotten back together like that December.
No.
No, listen, give me a second.
Okay.
December, and then we went through dating that whole year. So this was the next year. Yes. It was December 31st, and we were still living in Hattiesburg. And I went to my mom's house, my mom and dad's, and I knew something was funny because I told my mama, I was like, you know, we are going to stay at the Hilton in Jackson. I was like, we're going to dinner. We're just going to, you know, hang out and party there. Cause I always told my mom TMI, like, hey, we going to party. We going, you know, we going to have fun, Mom. And she said, well, what are you going to wear? And I was like, because she never really cared what I wore. But I was like, okay, you know, a special day. She just wants to know what I'm going to wear for New Year's Eve. I was like, okay, so I have this little it was like a red sweater dress. And I was going to wear these super high black boots. And I showed her my boots. And she was like, oh, yeah, that's cute. That's going to be cute. So I was like, okay. And she seemed so giddy. So it's almost like she kind of threw me off a little bit because I felt like, okay, he might propose to me tonight, but it was in the back of my mind. I just didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So then I think you came pick me up from my parents' house.
I think so. Maybe
Yeah, and we went to Jackson. And then we were at Jackson, and you tell the rest.
We got to when we got to Jackson, I went to the liquor store and I bought a bottle of Moet, and got back to the room, put it on ice, and we were just sitting there in the room hanging out, talking, and then we went to the ballroom for the New Year's Eve party. So when it came almost time for the ball drop, I told Angie, I said, man, let's go back up to the room. She was like, why we want to go back to the room now? the party live, you know, the ball for the job, we going to miss the countdown. Come on, why we got to go? I said, come on, let's go to the room.
So difficult.
Let's go to the room. So she found, okay, let's go to the room. So got to the room, and I was nervous all out. So got to the room, start telling her I love her and how much I love her, you know, all the good stuff, you know. But it was barely coming out. But so all I know, I pulled the ring out, got on my knee, then pulled the ring out. Angie bust out crying. I'm damn near crying. Asked her to marry me. She said yes.
Yeah. I was
Uh,
like, are you serious?
But dude, like I've always tried to be the romantic type, you know. So whatever that's coming up or something like that, I try to do something romantic. And I don't know, it's followed me since. But I think I get it because I used to see that with my dad a lot.
Yeah.
He was always, you know, a romance. So that's what I've been doing since. So.
Yeah, he tries to like set the mood and stuff, and I'm like a mood killer because I'm like, but what are we doing that for? Why are we doing that?
I'm like,
See what happens when we cooperate, Angie? We get husbands.
Yeah.
Right.
I know, I almost ruined the whole proposal trying to stay downstairs and party.
It's so funny how we both had like these moments where we like, what?
I know that's that controlling part. And I think that's how y'all got us hooked. Cause y'all like throw in that element of surprise to where we can't control y'all and y'all just do
Exactly.
random stuff.
Exactly.
And like, I think that's the good thing. It's like, ooh, he just went and did that, huh? You know, it's like
we're a little shocked. We're a little shocked.
yeah, keep that up, guys. Keep it up. Good job.
Keep it up. Y'all are doing good jobs. Y'all are doing good jobs.
Yes. Okay, so what was our other question?
So we're gonna wrap up with just talking about our favorite. I forgot my question.
You write it down?
I think I got it. It was our favorite. Is it
our favorite part about growing up as high school sweethearts? Like, what's our favorite memory or the best thing? All the things.
Okay. Are we all going to go individually?
Yeah, and then that'll be our end.
Okay, perfect. So, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. So,
Okay.
I think that the best part about growing up with my high school sweetheart is, even though like growing together was hard and was tough, there are a lot of people that don't make it through the phases that we made it through. And so I think that our ability to get through that has been one of my highlights. Like, I take pride in being married to my high school sweetheart and still being so much in love. And I think that the best thing for me is the fact that we still grow together now. We still travel together. I think that even though we had great memories growing up, like, we still make some of our best memories as adults, just because we still date each other and we still get along and enjoy each other's company. And so just our ability to grow in love every single day and every single year, I think is the highlight for me.
I like it. Nice.
I can't top that one.
we'll go back and forth, give you time to think, baby. All right, Angie, you're up.
For me, like, that was good. It's tough for me to follow that, but we're not gonna compete or compare. I'm just gonna say, like, for me, like, dating him is like, he knows who I am, you know, like, to the core. Just because when you know somebody for that long of a time, it's like he genuinely knows me and knows my heart, regardless of how much we grow. It's like he's seen me in so many different stages in my life, to where, you know, he's seen me go through some things, he's seen me grow, and he's still been there. So I think that for me, dating him and going into adulthood is, I want people to genuinely like know me. Like, and when somebody genuinely knows me, it's a different type of love. It's like, you loved me even when, you know, even when I wasn't very mature and I was making so many bad decisions, you still saw me and you still loved me. So I think that's my favorite part, is that we're able to grow together. We've been able to have so many different experiences together. And he still loves me for me. So I think that's my best part.
I love that. And that, what you just explained, is the definition of true unconditional love. Like, someone who knows you, flaws and all, and they still love you and all of those flaws that come along with you. So I like that.
That's it.
Emmanuel, bouncing back to you, and then we'll wrap up with old comedian Nick.
Ain't no telling what he's gonna say.
Ain't no telling.
He's getting it together now.
I just think it's the ability to kind of be with my best friend. It's kind of like, hey, you're my best friend, but you're my wife too now. So kind of like Andrew said, like, I know everything about you, you know everything about me, and the ability for us to grow together. It's quite remarkable to see. I would say that much, you know, because the ability to change and still yet know who you are internal and out, you know. So that's what I would say. Just being with my best friend and basically now my wife. And you know me, I know you. And we in this thing together. I won't do it again. This will be it. If I can't make it with her, I can't make it with nobody else.
You sound like Angie.
So that's my thing. Yes.
I got go around.
I agree with you, Nick. I got one more in me.
I got one more.
I ain't got no more. I ain't got. I got. If this don't work, it's it. It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Y'all.
I mean,
Hey,
it will be kind of hard to top my current husband. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I
agree.
I don't want to compromise. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Okay, what's yours?
My turn.
Oh gosh.
No
I
time.
know. It's good. It's good. My best memories with Angie coming up as a high school sweetheart is Angie was always more independent, more mature than I was. And I was a big mama's boy. So whatever I had going on, I talked to mama about it. You know, I go to mama before Angie, and Angie's like, why you didn't talk to me about it? Why you tell your mama everything? You could just talk to me. I'm like, man, that's my mama, you know, I'm gonna tell your mama. So, you know, and then, like I would have a cell phone, but I paid it through my mama because it was easier. My car insurance was through my mama, paid through her because it was easier. You know, I mean, it was just so much better that way. And Angie used to be like, why are you doing that like that? Man, we got to get you up off your mama insurance now. Come on now. We got to get you up off your mama insurance. We got to get you up off that phone bill now. Come on now. You can be doing this on your own. So I'm like, man, no the hell, I can't do this on my own. My mom, I need my mom to do that. So she was like, look, I'm going to teach you how to be independent. And boy, was I nervous. But trusting and seeing who she was as a person and how she grew up, how her parents raised her, and seeing how responsible she was, I said, okay, I'm going to take this chance because it got to be for the good. And now I feel like I am where I am, you know, responsibility-wise because of Angie. And I appreciate that more every day. You know, now I stay on her ass. But, you know, it's all part of it. You know, she got me through that passion. Now I'm working with her to get her through whatever she got to get through, you know. So that's my favorite memory, and I think that's going to stick with me forever.
I love that. I love that. And that is, it's awesome because I always say that me and Angie are a little bit alike, but I think me and you are the most alike, Nick, because Emmanuel had the same my car insurance was through my daddy. Like if I needed my car fixed, I called my daddy. Like I was a big daddy's girl. And Emmanuel was like, you can't like keep letting your daddy pay for everything. So I think that was one of the things that I had to learn too. And as a man, like he had to sit me down and he had to say like, I don't want your daddy to think that I can't take care of you. Like, I don't want your daddy to think that this is going to be what he has to do for you. I want to be the man that provides for you and takes care of you. And I think that was the main thing that was when I decided to relinquish, like, let my daddy just be and not have him pay for anything anymore. So I think that that's the other thing. Our significant others kind of helped us grow up also into being more responsible. And now we don't have to worry about clinging to our parents for anything, honestly. And I love that we don't have to ask for anything or cling to anybody for anything.
Right.
That's right.
Yep.
Well, y'all, this has been fun.
Yes.
It has been fun, and you know we love chatting with y'all all the time anyway.
Thank y'all for having me. I appreciate it.
I'm glad you said yes.
Yeah.
Glad that they said yes to Angie. Now, don't y'all feel better? Y'all were giving us all of that. Y'all were griping and all of that, but y'all feel
Sure.
better now.
I don't recall. You recall?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think we ever.
Hold on, Nick's gonna own up to his. Yeah, he gripes.
Nick was like, "Yeah, I feel better." May was like, "I feel better."
Talking
I
about.
was just so tired earlier. I was so tired.
Yeah.
I could have went to sleep.
But now that I think now maybe you get how us doing this, it does just put you in such a better mood.
I
You
agree.
know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah, man, Nick gonna start our own thing too.
Yeah, I think we should.
I think
Yeah.
we
Y'all
should.
can-
Raw and uncut.
I like that. That'll be the name of it too, Nick. Raw and uncut.
Oh,
Raw
boy.
and uncut.
We gotta end this podcast because
I think that's
they're gonna roll right into another podcast, Angie.
yes, they are. We'll be sure to invite y'all back for that raw and uncut. Y'all gotta be prepared because I never know what's gonna come out of this man's mouth. I swear I don't. And bless her poor baby.
Wait till you
heart.
can drink some wine. It's gonna be so much fun.
Oh
When
gosh.
we all can have wine. And talk.
Yeah, when we can all have wine and talk, I don't know, that may be trouble.
Well, hey.
Yeah, but it's exciting to have done this. So I guess what's coming up with me is more shopping with your skincare and makeup. If y'all need any of that, you can always contact me. And Shonda, what's coming up with you?
You can catch me in November at the San Antonio Women's Conference. I will be a guest speaker there. That is going to be on November 14th. And then you can also catch me on Zoom as I host an event on Chatting with the Author, where we'll be discussing my book as well as my journal. If you don't have either one of them, you can definitely grab them on lulu.com and on amazon.com. The book is titled Your Guide to True Self-Love. And then my journal is called Growth and Gratitude. So grab a copy and hop on Zoom on November 15th.
Y'all do it. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Y'all be sure to subscribe to our channel, and we will see y'all on YouTube next time. And I hope y'all will listen in for our next episode. Bye, y'all.